Are the Seattle Seahawks loading up for another championship run with a wave of elite talent? Breaking reports suggest Seattle could be bringing in multiple impact players in a bold push to return to the top of the National Football League. Some believe these signings would instantly strengthen both sides of the ball and create one of the most complete rosters in the league, while others question how the team can manage such aggressive moves under the salary cap. If these additions are confirmed, the Seahawks might be positioning themselves for another serious shot at a Super Bowl title.
What's up, 12s? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got some massive breaking news coming straight out of Seattle that is already shaking up the entire NFL landscape. If you're a fan of the Seahawks, you're going to want to watch every second of this because things are heating up in a big way, and this could completely change the direction of the franchise heading into the new season.
Reports are coming in that the Seattle Seahawks are aggressively targeting and in advanced talks with multiple five-star level players, and not just role guys. We're talking about game changers, elite talent, players who can step in day one and immediately elevate this team into serious Super Bowl contention again. This isn't just hype. This feels like a statement move from the front office. A clear message to the rest of the league that Seattle is not rebuilding anymore. They are ready to win right now. Now let's set the stage a little bit, because this didn't come out of nowhere. Over the past couple of seasons, the Seahawks have been quietly building something interesting. Young talent has been developing, the roster has been getting faster and more physical, and there's been a shift in mentality. But one thing has been missing, that final push, those elite pieces that take you from playoff hopeful to championship favorite. And now it looks like the front office is going all in to close that gap. Sources close to the situation are saying that Seattle is prioritizing impact players on both sides of the ball. They are not just focusing on offense or defense. They want complete dominance, a balanced team that can beat you in multiple ways. That's how championship teams are built, and that's exactly what the Seahawks are trying to recreate. Let's start with the offensive side, because this is where things get really exciting. There are strong indications that the Seahawks are targeting a top-tier wide receiver, someone with elite speed, route running, and the ability to stretch the field. Imagine adding a true number one weapon to an already improving offense. That changes everything. Defenses can't stack the box, safeties have to stay deep, and suddenly your quarterback has more space, more options, more confidence. And it doesn't stop there. There's also talk of a high-profile offensive lineman being part of these moves. This is huge. If you protect your quarterback and establish a strong run game, everything else falls into place. A dominant offensive line can turn a good team into a great one almost overnight. Now, flipping over to the defensive side, this is where the Seahawks seem especially aggressive. Insiders are hinting at a major addition in the pass rush department, a five-star edge rusher who can consistently pressure the quarterback, disrupt plays, and force turnovers. We all know how important that is in today's NFL. If you can't get to the quarterback, you're not winning championships. But what's even more interesting is that the Seahawks are also reportedly looking at bolstering their secondary again. Yes, the secondary, something this franchise has historically been known for. There are whispers about adding a shutdown corner or a versatile safety who can cover, tackle, and lead the defense. It feels like they're trying to bring back that identity, that fear factor, that sense that no pass is safe against Seattle. And here's the key point that makes this even more exciting. These aren't random targets. These are carefully selected players who fit the system, the culture, and the long-term vision. The Seahawks aren't just throwing money around. They're building something sustainable while still going all in for a championship run. Now, let's talk about what this means for the team as a whole. If even half of these moves go through, the Seahawks instantly become one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC. You're looking at a roster with explosive offense, improved protection, and a defense that can actually close out games. Think about those tight playoff matchups where one big play makes the difference.
A clutch interception, a strip sack, a deep touchdown. These are the types of players Seattle is trying to bring in, players who deliver in those moments. Another important angle here is the message this sends to the locker room. When management goes out and signs elite talent, it tells the current players that the organization believes in them, that they are close, that they just need a few more pieces to reach the top. That kind of belief can be powerful. It raises intensity, focus, and accountability across the entire roster. And let's not forget the fan base. Seahawks fans are some of the most passionate in the NFL, and moves like this reignite that energy. The stadium gets louder, the atmosphere becomes electric again, and that home field advantage becomes real.
Now, of course, with big moves come big expectations. If the Seahawks land these players, there will be pressure to perform immediately. There will be no more excuses, no more "we're building for the future." It will be about winning now, competing for the division, making a deep playoff run, and ultimately chasing that Super Bowl title.
But based on what we're hearing, the front office is ready for that pressure. They want it. They're embracing it. There's also a strategic element here that shouldn't be overlooked. The NFC is evolving. Teams are getting stronger, more dynamic, more aggressive. If you stand still, you fall behind. The Seahawks clearly understand this, and they're making sure they stay ahead of the curve. Another thing to watch is how these potential signings could impact the draft strategy. If Seattle fills key gaps with proven stars, they'll have more flexibility in the draft to go after best available talent instead of drafting purely out of need. That's how you build depth, and depth is what carries teams through injuries and long seasons. Now, let's talk about the Super Bowl angle, because yes, that's where this is heading. If these five-star additions come in and perform as expected, there is no reason the Seahawks can't be right in the mix. They would have the firepower, the defense, and the momentum to compete with anyone. And remember, the NFL is unpredictable. Sometimes all it takes is one off-season to completely change a team's trajectory. We've seen it before, and we might be witnessing it again with Seattle.
But until deals are officially signed, we have to treat this as developing news. Negotiations can change, plans can shift, and nothing is guaranteed. However, the fact that these talks are happening at this level tells us everything we need to know about the direction of this franchise.
They are not waiting. They are not hesitating. They are making moves. So, what should fans be watching for over the next few days? First, keep an eye on official announcements and insider reports. Things could move quickly, especially if multiple deals are being finalized at the same time. Second, watch how other teams react. Big moves from Seattle could trigger a chain reaction across the league. And finally, pay attention to how the coaching staff starts talking about the team. Sometimes you can read between the lines in interviews and press conferences. Confidence levels, tone, expectations, it all gives clues about what's coming next. To wrap this up, this is one of the most exciting moments for Seahawks fans in recent years. The possibility of bringing in multiple five-star players, the idea of returning to Super Bowl contention, the energy surrounding the team right now, it's all building towards something big. We're going to stay on top of every update, every signing, every rumor, so make sure you're subscribed and ready because you don't want to miss what happens next. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think the Seahawks are targeting? Which position needs the biggest upgrade? And do you believe this team can really make a Super Bowl run if these moves happen? Because one thing is clear, something big is happening in Seattle, and the rest of the NFL is starting to take notice.